everyone, you're watching In Case You Missed It, and this is what happened in round 17, where we start with a huge story coming out of the West Coast Eagles. Fears on Sunday that superstar ruckman Nick Natanui has ruptured his ACL, souring what was a brilliant win over Collingwood at the MCG. The incident happened in the second term. Natanui's right knee, his good one, twisting awkwardly. He hobbled off the ground and down into the rooms. An emotional Adam Simpson fearing the worst.
Doesn't look great, so fingers crossed. There's a bit of emotions going on in the rooms after the game, but he's probably the one that's the most relaxed with it all. Just your heart breaks a little bit if it's the case. You know, it's his other knee, and you know, it's one of those things. It's words can't describe. But he's not, as he said, he's not dying. He's not dead. He's still the same person. So just unfortunately, we've you know, may have lost him for another season.
The news dampens an otherwise great day for the Eagles, ending a 23-year hoodoo against the Pies at the MCG. Pre-game, the signs looked ominous for the Pies, with the Premiership Cup taking a tumble. And while Collingwood flew out of the blocks, they were no match for returning Eagles trio Josh Kennedy, Jack Darling and Mark Lacroix.
Kennedy, outstanding. Gaff, they were lining up. If anything, lost it, got in the way a little bit. It may not matter. Cripps feeds it through. Darling. He's kicked it.
Their combined 8 goals key in ending Collingwood's 7-game winning streak, and it's fair to say coach Nathan Buckley might be having second thoughts now about shaving off his beard. Now, Nick Nat isn't the only huge injury concern for a finals contender, with Melbourne co-captain Jack Viney sidelined once again with a recurrence of the toe injury that saw him miss the first 8 games of the season. A late withdrawal from the game against the Dogs, Viney was sent for scans. The news not good for the Demon star.
It's you know, it's a funny one. He was a little bit sore yesterday, so we had a scan. There were some early signs of stress on that toe. And really, we didn't want to push him. You know, we think we need to get that right. We don't want to get to a stage where he can't play. So we're really confident, you know, that with our medical team they'll do a bit more assessment Monday and Tuesday. But we need to deload him. You know, how long that takes might be a couple of weeks. We just have to wait and see. But you know, we grabbed it early and we didn't want to take a risk with it.
As for the game, well, the Dogs tried to expose the D's in the first half, but an 8-goal third term from the Demons brought the Dogs to their knees. Angus Brayshaw was incredible again, so much so he had the umps on side. Max Gawn was phenomenal with 41 hitouts as the D's notched up their 10th win.
He gets a kick, he goes down the line, but this is a big win for Melbourne. A 50-point belting. And Max Gawn, take a bow.
Take a bow indeed. The talk now, can Max Gawn win the Brownlow? Well, he definitely has to be in the conversation now after yet another impressive performance. All right, time to turn our attention to an absolute thriller. Sydney winning a pulsating match on Sunday by 6 points against North Melbourne. The excitement was almost too much for some, this young Roo laying down the law to his elders. A back injury sidelined Josh Kennedy early, but Buddy Franklin provided a special moment in football history, kicking his 900th career goal to become just the 9th player to achieve the feat, and the superstar decided that wasn't quite enough spotlight.
High ball inside 50, 1-on-2 involving Franklin, the superstar. It doesn't matter. Got 3.
At the other end, fans were asking for a Jay-Z encore. Jack Ziebell kicking his 5th goal that looked to be a match winner until another 5-goal star, Ben Ronk, bobbed up. With scores tied, it was the unlikeliest of heroes who delivered victory.
Here they come again, off the hands of Aliir. Papley, it's Aliir. He can run into the open goal. Aliir's put them in front. Aliir has put them in front.
Playing down back, and we're down by 1 point, and I've got a message to go out forward, and it just bounced perfect and happy to finish it. So it was a good way to kick my first goal. So.
What a finish. The Swans needed that win. It sees them climb back into the top four. Meantime, in the twilight time slot, Port Adelaide missed a chance to leapfrog into the top four, going down to a stubborn Fremantle at Optus Stadium. Defence certainly reigned supreme. The second quarter was the lowest scoring in any match since 2008. And an ugly game got uglier for the Power when Paddy Ryder was put on ice with a hip concern, while Robbie Gray was knocked out cold in this tackle, with Ryan Nyhouse sure to come under scrutiny from match review officer Michael Christian. The Dockers, though, remain composed and grew in confidence, with Cam McCarthy and Michael Walters sealing the deal late.
Port Adelaide's top two chances could die with this kick. He lands one to the jaw.
Time now for hot and cold, and the Lions certainly are enjoying a nice run. Brisbane making it 3 straight wins for the first time since 2013 with a shock victory against Hawthorn in Launceston. 3 goals each to number 1 pick Cam Rayner and Eric Hipwood propelled them to a handy buffer, and the defence did the rest, keeping the Hawks goalless in the final term. Ball magnet Tom Mitchell again surpassed 40 touches, and Jager O'Meara kicked a career best 4 goals but might face scrutiny for that cheap shot on Mitch Robinson. The loss, though, could have huge implications for Hawthorn, with their finals hopes hanging by a thread.
Lost spirit and faith in the way that we wanted to play, and that's why they end up able to run away with the game.
To Ice Road Truckers Richmond, and the Premiers have created a fortress at the MCG with an equal record 17 consecutive wins, but it's interstate that the Tigers have lost their bite. In an absorbing battle, it was the Giants. It was another fruitless trip again for the Tigers. The welcome inclusion of Toby Green for the home side, along with key contributions from Zach Langdon and Tim Taranto, giving them the ascendancy. The Tigers surged in the final term, but the cool heads of Callan Ward and Dylan Shield in the midfield stayed strong to make it 4 wins from the last 5.
8 seconds, chance for Reeve, he gets through their home, shot on goal, it's going to go through for a minor score, and there it is, the Giants' famous victory here at Spotless Stadium.
Richmond coach Damien Hardwick gave this tongue-in-cheek assessment of the umpiring post-game.
Look, I can't really comment on the umpiring. Would be fair to say, but we're going to do a bit of ducking practice at training tonight.
A bit of a duck roast there from Dimmer. All right, from the Giants to a former Giant for the play of the round. And deadly Devon Smith might be leading the Bombers B&F in his first season at the club. And here's a perfect example why.
Shoved out of the way. The path was cleared by McDonald, Tipperwoody. And then look at the spinning ball from Devon Smith from the pocket. An amazing goal.
A great piece of skill standing out in a largely drab affair on the Gold Coast. Both sides inaccurate, but Essendon did enough in the second half to keep their faint finals hopes alive. Going back to Thursday night now, and the Crows celebrated Rory Sloane's new 5-year deal in style, notching up a 15-point win over the Cats to keep their slim finals aspirations alive. This moment summing up just how much Sloane's recommitment meant to the Crows.
Rory Sloane, and this will top it off.
That tells you how much he means to this footy club and how much they care about it. Yeah.
The victory did end on a sour note, though skipper Tex Walker copping a 1-week ban for this bump on Zach Toohey. Time now for what's making news on social media, and ex-Magpie Dane Swan weighed in on the Friday night fizzer that was St Kilda and Carlton. Swanee with some tips for AFL fixturing boss Travis Auld. Not sure though the league will consider scheduling the Blues on a Monday, but good stuff all the same there from Swanee. On that game, and the Blues hung in for the contest for the first half, but with ruckman Matthew Cruiser ruled out of the game early with an elevated heart rate, things went from bad to worse. Jed Lamb getting a little too touchy-feely with Jade Gresham's face and was later offered a 1-game suspension for eye gouging. St Kilda clicking into gear after the break to kick 6 goals to 1 in the third term and add yet another loss to Carlton's miserable 2018. To the ladder now, and the Tigers are still on top, percentage separating the Premiers and West Coast, who move into second place. The Pies have dropped into third, the Swans rounding out the top 4. The Giants have crept into the top 8 as well, while Hawthorn has dropped out into 10th place. Essendon and the Crows are both on 8 wins, while the Blues, well, they're still on the bottom of the ladder. And that's another episode of In Case You Missed It, done and dusted. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll see you next week.